When you walk into a Bouyei village at dawn, you'll hear the rhythm of looms before the roosters crow. It's not the noise of machines, but the sound of continuity, a heartbeat passed down through time. For centuries, the Bouyei people of southern Guizhou have woven blue cloth, carved their homes from stone, and built a life of patience and craft. But what was once a symbol of survival is now becoming a new path of prosperity. In these mountains, every thread carries not just memory, but opportunity. The Bouyei are one of China's oldest ethnic groups, living along rivers and terraces, where every field and every stone carries a story. Their world is woven with care. Farming and weaving are two sides of the same rhythm. Women gather indigo leaves from the hills, crush them, and boil them into dye. Men carve stones for walls that breathe in the rain. They say blue connects the sky, the water, and the soul, a color that never fades. In the past, these crafts were simply part of life. Families made what they needed. Neighbors exchanged what they made. There was no market, only meaning. But as cities grew and younger generations left, the looms went silent. What remained was not just an economic gap, it was a silence of identity. In recent years, a quiet revival began. Local cooperatives formed to preserve weaving and indigo dyeing. Government support and tourism programs encouraged villagers to stay, not by abandoning tradition, but by transforming it. Families reopened looms, and younger people returned home, bringing new ideas about business and design. Markets were held again, not just to sell cloth, but to share culture. Blue scarves, once made only for weddings, became gifts sought by travelers. Stone houses became guest houses. Rice fields became workshops for tourists to learn rural crafts. The Bouyei economy, once bound to the soil, began to grow from its stories. Yali grew up beside the Kingshui River, where her grandmother's hands were always blue from indigo. "Every thread remembers," her grandmother would say. When Yali left for the city to study marketing, she thought she was leaving the past behind. Instead, she discovered how valuable it was. She came back home and rebuilt her family's old stone house. She called it the Indigo House. Guests could sleep under indigo-dyed quilts, eat homegrown rice, and learn to dye their own scarves. What began as one small workshop became a symbol of hope. Through her example, other women joined, learning not only to weave, but to manage sales, bookings, and online orders. Today, the Indigo House connects 30 families, each one weaving, dyeing, and welcoming visitors. Household incomes have doubled in 5 years, and children now grow up surrounded by both craft and confidence. The change spread beyond Yali's village. Neighboring communities began setting up their own workshops. Local cooperatives helped women access microloans to buy looms and materials. Festivals celebrating Bouyei Blue attracted thousands of visitors every summer. This revival didn't just bring income, it rebuilt confidence. Women who once worked only for family now led businesses. Elders became teachers. Children learned their heritage with pride. In 2024, Bouyei textile products reached over 15 million RMB in annual sales, and more than 70% of the villagers' income came from crafts and tourism. The Bouyei have proven that preserving identity can also drive growth, that the most local traditions can find global appreciation. When you hold a piece of Bouyei blue cloth, you hold time, the patience of hands, the memory of mountains, and the quiet strength of change. The Bouyei story is not just about the past. It's about how culture becomes continuity, how art becomes livelihood, and how community becomes resilience. In every thread, the future glimmers, woven slowly, beautifully, and together.